The night was quiet, but the universe was not. In a lonely desert of Nevada, a giant dish antenna faced the endless sky. Inside the control room, computers hummed and screens glowed with thin green lines. Scientists worked in silence, half asleep after another long shift of waiting. They had been listening for years, searching for one thing: proof that humanity was not alone. Dr. Elena Carter rubbed her forehead and sighed. Another night wasted, she whispered to herself. The radio telescope had picked up nothing unusual for months. Stars were silent, galaxies far away, planets cold and empty. She stood up to stretch, when suddenly, the screen blinked. Beep, beep, beep. The sound cut through the room like a knife. Everyone turned at once. The thin line on the monitor jumped, forming a repeating pattern. It wasn't random noise. It was precise. It was too perfect. "Elena, look at this," her assistant gasped. "This is not a star. This is intentional." The room froze. Hands moved quickly over keyboards. Numbers flashed, signals decoded. The pattern grew clearer, a steady pulse, like a heartbeat from across the galaxy. Then came a voice, not human, mechanical, calm. "Prepare. We come. Prepare." The scientists stared at each other, pale with shock. Some laughed nervously, thinking it must be a prank. But the data confirmed the impossible truth. The signal was real. It was coming from deep space, stronger than anything ever received before. Within an hour, governments around the world were alerted. Military satellites turned their eyes to the heavens. Leaders were woken in the middle of the night. The signal was no longer just a whisper in one desert. It echoed in every nation, every control room, every device that could catch a wave of sound. The world changed overnight. News broke like thunder. "Aliens are real," shouted the headlines. Crowds filled the streets, cheering, crying, praying. Some saw it as a miracle. Others saw it as a warning. Religious leaders called it a test from heaven. Soldiers prepared for war. Children asked their parents if monsters were coming. At the United Nations, leaders sat in a dark chamber, watching the strange signal play on giant screens. The alien message repeated again and again. "Prepare. We come. Prepare." No one could tell if it was a promise of peace or a threat. Scientists decoded fragments hidden inside the signal. Complex equations, star maps, strange diagrams of ships and engines appeared. These were not explorers asking for directions. This was a declaration of presence. A display of power. A general slammed his fist on the table. "They are telling us they are stronger. They want us to know what they can do." But others shook their heads. Maybe it's an invitation. Maybe they want peace. Silence fell. Everyone knew the truth. Humanity could not stop them if they were hostile. 3 days later, silence ended. Satellites picked up movement at the edge of the solar system. Unknown objects, enormous and fast, entered without warning. Cameras caught the first glimpses. Silver ships, sharp and perfect, flying information. They came closer, growing larger with every hour. The world held its breath. Above Earth's skies they arrived. Dozens of alien vessels glowed with blue fire, hanging in orbit like new stars. Their size dwarfed every human machine. Skyscrapers could have hidden inside their hulls. Nations armed their missiles, but no one dared to launch. Everyone understood one wrong move could end the world. Then all communication devices, televisions, radios, even mobile phones crackled at once. The alien voice returned, louder, clearer, this time translated into many human languages. "People of Earth, we come to speak. Prepare your leaders." Cities went silent. Families huddled together, staring at the glowing ships above. Children pointed in awe, while soldiers gripped their rifles with shaking hands. Governments scrambled, rushing leaders into bunkers and preparing emergency meetings. In a military base, a young soldier whispered, "If they attack, we won't last 5 minutes." In a small house, an old man told his grandson, "Do not be afraid. Humans are stronger than we look." In a hidden lab, secret projects hummed to life. Humanity had its own surprises, though the world did not yet know it. The first contact had happened, but it was not the friendly handshake many had dreamed of. It was heavy, cold, and full of mystery. The aliens had announced their arrival. They had shown their power, but they had not yet seen the fire that burned in mankind's heart. The signal from the stars was only the beginning. The morning sky looked normal, but the world was no longer the same. Everyone had heard the message. The aliens had spoken. We come. Prepare. At dawn, people filled the rooftops, staring upward. Some prayed, some waved flags, some cried. Soldiers guarded every border, every base, every sky. Humanity waited, holding its breath. Then the sky changed. At first, it was just a shimmer, like a faint star moving too quickly. Then more lights appeared, dozens of them, sliding across the heavens with unnatural speed. The air traffic radars screamed alarms. Satellites caught the truth. Massive ships entering orbit, one after another, dark silhouettes against the rising sun. Contact confirmed. A voice announced in a military command room. They are here. Above Earth, the alien fleet slowed and spread across the skies. Their shapes were not like anything humans had built. They were sharp, metallic, shining with strange blue light. Some looked like blades, others like enormous wings, and some glowed as if they carried miniature suns inside them. Every city below fell into silence. The world stood still. In New York, thousands gathered in Times Square, eyes fixed on the glowing shapes overhead. In Tokyo, traffic stopped as drivers stepped out of their cars, pointing to the sky. In Cairo, prayers rose into the air, mixing fear with hope. And in orbit, the ships hovered like giants, silent, watching. Inside the United Nations, the Great Hall was filled with leaders, generals, and scientists. The air was thick with tension. On the huge screens, live footage from satellites showed the alien fleet circling Earth. They were not hiding. They wanted humanity to see their strength. They're positioning themselves above major cities, a general said in a low voice. Then they know exactly where we live, another whispered back. Suddenly, the screens flickered. Static filled the air. The alien signal broke through again, forcing every device to listen. People of Earth, the voice said, cold but clear. We come in strength. Your leaders will speak to us. Prepare a place of meeting. The hall went silent. No one dared to breathe. The message ended, but the fear remained. The aliens had not fired a single shot. They did not need to. Their presence alone was a weapon. Panic and preparation. Around the world, chaos began. In London, people rushed to markets, buying food and water. In Moscow, soldiers filled the streets, tanks rolling as if war had already begun. In Washington, the president was rushed underground, protected by guards. Rumors spread faster than truth. Some claimed the aliens would attack in hours. Others believed they would take control of governments directly. But in the middle of the fear, a strange unity formed. Humanity, divided for centuries, now faced the same sky, the same enemy, or perhaps the same teacher. The United Nations called for an emergency plan. They would welcome the aliens on neutral ground. After long arguments, one decision was made. The first meeting would happen on Earth, not in space. A landing zone was chosen, Geneva, Switzerland, the home of diplomacy. Military forces surrounded the area, prepared for anything. Scientists hurried to build translation devices, though the aliens seemed to already understand human languages. Engineers tested communication towers, while medics stood ready for disaster. The world was watching. Every camera, every satellite, every microphone pointed to Geneva. The descent. Then, on the second evening, the aliens moved. From the largest ship, a beam of light stretched down, piercing the clouds. The air trembled as a smaller vessel descended, smooth and silent, shaped like a black spear glowing with fire. People screamed. Others fell to their knees. Some whispered in awe. The ship landed outside Geneva, crushing the ground beneath its weight. It stood tall, taller than any building nearby, its surface glowing with symbols that shifted and changed like living light. The door opened. Mist poured out, cold and heavy, covering the earth like fog. A ramp extended, and shadows moved inside. Figures appeared at the edge, tall, slim, covered in armor that shimmered like liquid metal. Their faces were hidden behind masks, their eyes glowing faintly. The first alien stepped onto Earth. The crowd of soldiers raised their weapons, but no one fired. The world held its breath. The alien raised one hand, not in peace, not in war, but in command. Behind him, more figures appeared, forming a line. Their movements were slow, deliberate, filled with confidence. They did not act like visitors. They acted like rulers walking into their new land. "Record everything," a scientist whispered as his hands shook. Cameras zoomed in, satellites captured every second. Billions watched live across the planet. The alien leader finally spoke, his voice amplified through every device once more. "We stand on your world. Bring us your leaders. We will decide your place among the stars." The words echoed through cities, villages, deserts, and oceans. On Earth, silence followed. Humanity stared at the beings from the stars, and fear spread like fire. But hidden deep in bunkers, in secret labs and military bases, humans also prepared their own answers. They were not ready to bow. The aliens had arrived. The meeting was set. The true test was about to begin. The morning sun rose over Geneva, but the city did not wake in peace. The streets were blocked by soldiers, tanks, and drones hovering in the sky. The air was heavy with fear, as if the whole world had gathered its breath and refused to let it out. The alien ship, black and shining like a spear of the gods, stood on the edge of the city. It had not moved since it landed. Mist still poured from its ramp, flowing like smoke over the ground. Inside the United Nations building, leaders from every nation sat together. No one smiled. Some looked pale, others angry, and a few tried to look brave. But their hands shook under the table. Every screen around them showed the alien ship in real time. Every microphone was live, connected to billions of homes across the planet. This was not just a meeting. This was history. "Are we truly ready for this?" one president whispered. "No," replied a general. "But we have no choice." The walk to the unknown. As dawn grew brighter, the aliens finally moved. From the mist, 3 tall figures stepped forward, their armor glowing with faint blue lines. They were taller than any human, almost 3 meters. Their faces remained hidden behind masks with shining eyes. They walked slowly, each step heavy, as if reminding the earth who was stronger. Behind them, more shadows followed, but they stopped at the edge of the ramp. Only the 3 would enter the city. Soldiers surrounded the landing zone, fingers tight on their triggers. Drones buzzed in the air, scanning the aliens from head to toe. Yet the armored beings showed no fear. They did not even look at the weapons pointed at them. "They act like they own this planet already," muttered a young soldier. The aliens walked straight to the UN building. The massive doors opened, and the world watched as humans and aliens were about to face each other, eye to eye, for the very first time. The first contact hall. Inside the grand chamber, silence fell as the 3 aliens entered. Their steps echoed on the marble floor. Every leader of Earth turned toward them. Cameras zoomed in, broadcasting their image to every screen on the planet. The alien leader stood in the center. His armor shifted colors like flowing water. His mask glowed with symbols no one could read. When he finally spoke, the sound was deep, metallic, and cold. "People of Earth, you have taken your first step into the stars. But you stand at the bottom. We are here to decide your fate." Gasps filled the hall. Some leaders leaned forward, others leaned back, but no one dared interrupt. The alien raised his hand. A hologram appeared in the air, bright stars, spinning galaxies, and countless worlds. One by one, planets lit up in glowing red. "These are the worlds under our command," the alien continued. "Hundreds of species serve us. Some joined willingly. Others were forced. All now kneel to the Empire." The hologram shifted. Armies of alien ships appeared, blasting fire across planets. Cities crumbled. Species bowed on their knees. The message was clear. Resistance meant destruction. The aliens' glowing eyes scanned the hall. Now it is your turn. Will humanity kneel? Or will humanity burn? The smile. The chamber went silent. Fear spread like ice in every corner. The leaders exchanged glances. Some were ready to surrender, others wanted to resist, but no one dared to speak first. Then a single man stood. He was not a politician but a soldier, Captain Jonathan Reyes, chosen to represent Earth's military strength. He walked calmly to the center of the hall. His uniform was plain, his face calm, his eyes sharp. He looked at the alien leader, unshaken. For a moment, no one knew what he would do. Then, slowly, a smile appeared on his face. The alien tilted his head, almost confused. A murmur spread across the chamber. Billions watching on screens leaned closer. Jonathan spoke, his voice firm but quiet. You made one mistake. The alien leader's mask glowed brighter. And what mistake is that, human? Jonathan's smile widened. You came here thinking we were weak. The rising tension. The words cut through the silence like thunder. The aliens froze for a second. The human leaders turned in shock, their fear momentarily broken by surprise. Jonathan did not stop. You showed us your power, but you haven't seen ours. You think you are the only ones who can fight, who can conquer, who can win. But you don't know mankind. We are not the bottom. We are the storm you never expected. The alien leader stepped closer, towering over him, but Jonathan did not move back. Cameras caught every detail. One small human standing against a giant from the stars, smiling as if he had nothing to fear. For the first time, doubt flickered in the glowing eyes of the alien mask. The dawn of a struggle. The meeting ended with no handshake, no peace. The aliens returned to their ship, silent but watchful. The humans remained in the hall, hearts racing, blood burning. The world had seen something strange that morning. Not alien technology, not the Empire's power, but the courage of one man who dared to smile at monsters from the stars. As the sun rose higher, one truth became clear. The battle for Earth had not yet begun, but the war of wills had already started. And this was only dawn. The day after the meeting, the world was restless. People could not forget the hologram of burning worlds the aliens had shown. They could not forget the words, "Will humanity kneel, or will humanity burn?" News channels replayed the scene of Captain Jonathan Reyes standing fearless, smiling at the alien leader. Some called him reckless, some called him brave, but everyone agreed. For the first time, someone had spoken back. Yet the aliens were not done. They had not come to Earth only to speak. They had come to test. The ultimatum. At midnight, every screen on Earth flickered alive. The alien leader's face, still hidden behind his glowing mask, filled the world. His voice echoed across radios, televisions, even mobile phones. "Humans," he said, cold and sharp. "Your words are bold, but words are nothing. You will show us your strength, or we will erase it." A map appeared on the broadcast. The Pacific Ocean. A red circle glowed around a small island, uninhabited but known as a military testing ground. "We will strike this place," the alien continued. "You will defend it. If you survive, we will learn your worth. If you fail, your world will kneel without question." The message ended. Silence followed, heavy and suffocating. In secret bases across Earth, generals and scientists stared at the map. Fear turned into urgency. The aliens had chosen the battlefield. Humanity had no choice but to fight. The hidden weapons. For decades, humanity had prepared for enemies of its own kind. Nations had built missiles, satellites, and stealth planes. But there were secrets even deeper. Projects buried under mountains, hidden in oceans, tested in deserts. In an underground command bunker, Captain Reyes stood with generals from every major nation. "We cannot fight them ship to ship," one general admitted. "Their technology is centuries ahead." "Then we do not fight like them," Reyes replied. "We fight like humans." The plan was bold. Earth's greatest secret weapons would finally be revealed. railguns that fired slugs faster than the speed of sound, drones guided by artificial intelligence swarming like angry bees, lasers powerful enough to blind satellites, and an experimental shield system, energy barriers created by stolen physics, the result of decades of silent work. For the first time, humanity would unleash its hidden teeth. The test begins. At dawn, the sky over the Pacific burned with light. From orbit, 3 alien warships descended, each one larger than a skyscraper. Their hulls glowed with power. Their engines roared like thunder. Billions watched the live feed. The alien test had begun. The first blast came from above. A beam of white fire shot down, striking the ocean. Water boiled instantly, rising in giant waves. The small island shook under the assault, turning black with smoke. Then, from hidden bunkers on the island, Earth answered. Railguns fired with deafening thunder, sending metal slugs screaming into the sky. The first volley struck the shields of the alien ship, making it shimmer like glass under pressure. The aliens did not fall, but they paused. Next, hundreds of drones launched, black shapes swarming like angry insects. They darted and dived, firing missiles and blinding lasers. For a moment, the sky itself looked alive. The alien ships responded with terrifying speed. Blue fire erupted from their weapons, cutting through drones like paper. Explosions lit the horizon. The world gasped. But then something unexpected happened. One alien ship staggered. A railgun slug had pierced its shield and smashed into its hull. Fire burst from its side. The crowd watching around the world cheered in disbelief. The turning point. Inside the alien flagship, the masked leader leaned forward. His glowing eyes narrowed. These humans, they should not have this power. Back on Earth, Reyes spoke calmly into his radio. Phase 2. From under the ocean, a hidden submarine rose. This hatch opened, revealing a weapon the world had never seen. A long, black cannon powered by unstable energy. With a thunderous crack, it fired a beam of pure light straight into the sky. The beam struck another alien ship. The shields collapsed. The vessel shook violently, breaking formation. Gasps filled living rooms, control rooms, and streets across the planet. Humans had done the impossible. They had hurt the giants. The test ends. The aliens fired one last time, their beams ripping through the island, leaving it half destroyed. Then, without warning, they pulled back. Their ships rose into the sky, retreating to orbit. The test was over. The world erupted in noise. Cheers, cries, prayers, confusion. For the first time in history, humanity had faced an alien strike and survived. But inside the alien command, silence reigned. The leader turned to his advisors. These humans are not as weak as they appear. They bleed us. They resist. We must change our approach. And in Earth's hidden bunker, Reyes looked at the damaged island on the screen. He did not smile this time. His face was hard, serious. This was only the beginning, he said. They were testing us. Now we know they will not stop. The aliens had wanted a test. They got their answer. Humanity would not bow easily. But the true war had only just begun. The test was over, but the world could not sleep. Across every city, people gathered around screens, replaying the battle in the Pacific again and again. They had seen alien ships bleed fire. They had seen human weapons pierce shields that were supposed to be unbreakable. For the first time, hope flickered like a small flame. But the aliens were not defeated. They were angry. The gathering storm. In orbit, the alien fleet moved like dark shadows circling the Earth. More ships arrived each day, their numbers growing until the night sky looked scarred by glowing lines of blue fire. They were no longer just visitors. They were an army preparing for domination. On the ground, humanity rushed to prepare. Nations that once fought each other now stood side by side. Engineers worked without rest, improving weapons, building shields, and unlocking old secret projects. Soldiers drilled together, speaking different languages but aiming at the same sky. Captain Jonathan Reyes stood at the center of it all. His calm defiance in the UN chamber had become a symbol. To billions, he was the face of courage. To the aliens, he was a problem that needed to be crushed. The ultimatum. At dawn, the alien leader sent another message. His voice echoed through every device, cold and merciless. Humans, your resistance is foolish. You have scratched our ships, but you cannot defeat us. We give you one final chance. Surrender your armies, surrender your skies, and live under our rule. If you refuse, we will burn your cities and erase your kind from history. The words fell heavy across the planet. Fear spread again. But this time there was also anger. In a military bunker, Reyes leaned over the table where the alien message replayed. They believe fear will break us, he said softly. But they don't understand. Fear is what makes us fight harder. The first strike. The aliens moved first. From orbit, they launched a direct assault on Earth's satellites. Beams of blue light ripped through the night sky, turning dozens of human machines into burning dust. Communications broke, screens went dark, and parts of the world lost contact. Then, over the Atlantic Ocean, 3 alien warships descended, firing at sea bases hidden beneath the waves. The ocean erupted with fire. For a moment, it seemed Earth's defenses would crumble. But Earth answered. From the coastlines, hidden missile platforms opened fire, launching waves of hypersonic warheads. Railguns roared from floating fortresses disguised as oil rigs. And from the clouds, stealth fighters appeared, cloaked until the moment they struck. One alien warship shook violently, fire bursting from its side. Another staggered as a missile drilled deep into its hull. Humanity was not kneeling. Humanity was fighting back. The clash of wills. The battle raged for hours. Alien beams scorched the seas, turning waves into steam. Human weapons struck with precision, finding weaknesses in the shields. Every time the aliens expected humans to retreat, they found them advancing. In the command ship above Earth, the alien leader gripped the edge of his throne. Impossible. These creatures should not stand against us. In the control bunker on Earth, Reyes gave his orders calmly, his voice steady through the chaos. Push them back. Every ship we damage proves we are not prey. We are predators too. The clash was not just of weapons, it was of wills. The aliens fought with the arrogance of an empire that had crushed countless worlds. The humans fought with the desperation of a species that had everything to lose. And desperation, the aliens soon learned, was stronger than arrogance. A message of fire. As night fell, the surviving alien ships retreated into orbit. The ocean still burned, and the skies were scarred with smoke, but Earth still stood. Humanity had not been broken. Reyes stood before the cameras, his face tired but unshaken. The world waited for his words. He looked straight into the lens, as if speaking not only to his own people but to the aliens watching from orbit. We will not kneel. This is our world. If you want it, you will have to take it from us, and we will make you pay for every step you take. Billions cheered. In the ruins of cities, in shelters, in bunkers, people raised their fists and cried out. The world was no longer just afraid. The world was ready. The alien realization. In the command ship, the alien leader sat in silence. For the first time in centuries, his empire had been resisted. For the first time, he had seen an enemy smile in defiance rather than bow in fear. These humans, he whispered to himself, they do not understand their place. But perhaps, we do not understand them either. The battle was not won. The war was far from over. But the aliens had learned a dangerous truth. Mankind was not just another species to conquer. Mankind was a storm, and storms could not be tamed. The clash of wills had begun, and it would shake the galaxy. The seas were still burning from the last clash. Smoke rose into the sky, and broken machines sank beneath the waves. But Earth still lived, and its people still stood. In every corner of the world, fear was slowly changing into something else. Anger, courage, and hope. People spoke the name of one man more than any other, Captain Jonathan Reyes, the soldier who had smiled at the alien leader when the world trembled. To billions, he was no longer just an officer. He was a symbol, But the aliens had noticed him too. The hunter and the hunted. High above Earth, inside the command ship, the alien leader stared at recordings of Reyes. On the screen, the human stood tall in the UN chamber, unflinching, his smile calm in the face of overwhelming power. The alien's voice was low, heavy with frustration. That human, his defiance spreads like fire. If we break him, we break them all. Orders were given. Reyes was no longer just an enemy, he was a target. The captain's burden. On Earth, Reyes knew this. He could feel the weight pressing on his shoulders. He never asked to be a symbol, never wanted the world to look at him as their shield. Yet wherever he went, soldiers saluted with pride, civilians whispered his name, and children drew his face with stars around it. In a command bunker, he studied maps of the alien fleet. "They will come for me," he said to his officers. "Then we protect you," one replied. Reyes shook his head. "No. If they come, let them find me. Let them learn what a human smile means." His words spread across the ranks like fire. Soldiers repeated them. Civilians painted them on walls. A smile had become a weapon. The trap. The aliens made their move at dawn. 3 ships broke formation and descended near South America, targeting a hidden human base in the Andes Mountains. Intelligence confirmed it. They were searching for Reyes. The captain did not run. He was already waiting. Hidden deep in the mountain base were some of Earth's most advanced weapons. Rail cannons carved into cliffs, drones disguised as birds, and underground hangars filled with experimental fighters. But the real plan was not in the machines. It was in the mind of Reyes. He stood at the command deck, calm, steady. His officers watched him closely, nervous and sweating. But when they looked at his face, they saw the same thing that had shaken the aliens, his quiet smile. "Remember," he said, his voice clear, "we don't fight to prove who is stronger. We fight to prove we will never kneel." The battle in the mountains. The first alien ship descended, firing beams of blue fire into the cliffs. Stone shattered, avalanches thundered down, and dust filled the valleys. But from the mountains, Earth answered. Railguns hidden under snow roared, sending slugs screaming into the sky. One struck the alien ship, tearing through its side. Fire burst from its engines. The second ship released drones shaped like metallic birds, each one deadly. But Reyes' command launched swarms of human drones, guided by artificial intelligence. The sky became a storm of machines, clashing like swarms of insects. Explosions lit up the dawn. The third ship tried to land, hoping to capture Reyes. But as it lowered, a trap activated. Massive charges buried in the rock. The ground erupted, swallowing the alien vessel in fire. Inside the command deck, officers cheered, but Reyes only stood still, watching the flames with calm eyes. His smile did not fade. The alien fear. From orbit, the alien leader watched in silence. His ships were burning. His hunters had become the hunted. And on the screen, once again, stood the human captain, smiling as if nothing could break him. The alien leader felt something unfamiliar. Not anger, not hatred, fear. The message. After the battle, Reyes addressed the world. His image appeared on every screen, his voice steady, his smile quiet but unshakable. "They thought breaking me would break us. They were wrong. I am only one man, but I am one of billions. And every human can stand just like I do. We will fight together. We will smile together. And we will not stop until they leave our skies." The world erupted in cheers. In shelters, in ruins, in cities and villages, people smiled back at their captain. Fear had become defiance. Despair had become unity. The alien doubt. In the command ship above Earth, the alien leader spoke to his council. "These humans, they are not like the others we conquered. Their strength does not come from weapons alone. It comes from something deeper, something we do not understand." He paused, his glowing eyes narrowing. "They are dangerous, more dangerous than we thought." The war was far from over. The aliens still held the skies, still carried weapons that could shatter cities. But for the first time, they doubted. And for the first time, humanity believed, because one captain had smiled. The war had stretched across days and nights. Earth was scarred. Oceans still burned from fallen ships. Cities shook under blasts from orbit. But humanity had not broken. Against all odds, they stood together, fighting, resisting, surviving. In the alien command ship, the leader paced in silence. His glowing eyes dimmed with frustration. His empire had crushed hundreds of species before, yet this small world refused to kneel. His soldiers whispered in fear, not of Earth's weapons, but of its will. They should have surrendered by now, one alien officer said. The leader's voice was sharp. Then we will end this. Tonight, humanity learns its place. The final assault. That night, the alien fleet descended in full force. Dozens of warships broke orbit, their engines glowing like burning suns. The sky above Earth turned into a wall of fire. Sirens screamed in every city. Soldiers prepared, families hid in shelters, and leaders gave one last command: fight until the last breath. In the command bunker, Captain Jonathan Reyes stood calm, his eyes locked on the screens showing the alien fleet. His officers looked at him, searching for fear. But once again, they found only his quiet, unshakable smile. Tonight, Reyes said, they think they will crush us. But tonight they will see who we really are. Humanity's hidden power. As the alien fleet entered the atmosphere, Earth revealed its final secret. From deep underground, from mountains, deserts, and oceans, giant silos opened. For decades, humanity had prepared for its own destruction, building weapons meant for world wars that never came. Now, those weapons turned skyward. Missiles launched in thousands, filling the night with fire. Railguns thundered from every hidden fortress. Swarms of drones rose like dark clouds, guided by artificial intelligence. Energy shields powered up, covering cities in glowing domes of light. And then came Earth's greatest secret. From a base buried in Antarctica, a massive weapon activated. An orbital cannon hidden under the ice, built in silence over decades of cooperation. Powered by the Earth's own magnetic field, it fired a beam of white energy straight into the sky. The beam struck an alien warship. The shields shattered. The ship split apart in flames. The world roared in triumph. The turning of the tide. The aliens fired back with fury. Blue beams tore through the sky, striking cities, burning forests, boiling seas. But for every strike, humanity answered with two. Warships fell, one after another, their burning hulls crashing into the oceans. In the middle of chaos, Reyes led the command with calm precision. Focus fire on their flanks. Break their formation. Do not chase their strength. Attack their weakness. And it worked. The alien fleet, once untouchable, began to falter. Their perfect formation broke apart under human tactics. Their shields cracked. Their soldiers panicked. For the first time in galactic history, the Empire was retreating. The captain's message. As the battle raged, Reyes sent a message through every channel, not just to humans but directly to the alien fleet. His face appeared on their screens. His voice was steady, his eyes sharp, and his smile calm. You came here to test us. You thought we would kneel. But now you see the truth. Humanity is not weak. We are not prey. We are the storm. And we will never bow to you or anyone. His words echoed not just on Earth but across the alien command ships. Some alien officers lowered their heads. Others trembled. For the first time, their leader's mask dimmed, his silence betraying doubt. The retreat. One by one, the alien ships began to pull back. Their engines lit up, dragging them out of the atmosphere, back toward the black of space. Broken, burning, defeated. The alien leader gave no final words. His silence was louder than any threat. The Empire had been challenged, and for the first time it had lost. The dawn of humanity. The battle was over. Earth was scarred, but Earth was free. In the streets, people poured out of shelters, cheering, crying, hugging. Children laughed for the first time in days. Soldiers raised their fists to the sky. At the United Nations, leaders embraced. Old enemies shook hands, no longer divided by borders. Humanity had been tested, and in fire it had become one. Captain Reyes stood quietly, watching the sunrise over the battlefield. Reporters begged for words, but he only said one sentence. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Because humanity had not only defended its home. Humanity had shown the galaxy something no empire expected. Unity, courage, and a will that could not be broken. Far away, in the depths of space, other civilizations would hear whispers of this battle. And when they did, they would learn a new truth that would echo through the stars. Mankind stood as the ultimate power.